Harry moved nearer to the mirror, wanting to look at himself, but see no reflection again. He stepped in front of it. He had to clap his hands to his mouth to stop himself from screaming. He whirled around. His heart was pounding far more furiously than when the book had screamed, for he had seen not only himself in the mirror, but a whole crowd of people standing right behind him. The room was empty. Breathing fast, he turned slowly back to the mirror. There he was, reflected in it, white and scared looking, and there, reflected behind him, were at least 10 others. Harry looked over his shoulder, but still no one was there. Or were they all invisible too? Was he in fact in a room full of invisible people, and this mirror's trick was that it reflected them, invisible or not? He looked in the mirror again. A woman standing right behind his reflection was smiling at and waving at him. He reached out a hand and felt the air behind him. If she was really there, he'd touch her. Their reflections were so close together, but he only felt air. She and the others existed only in the mirror. She was a very pretty woman. She had dark red hair, and her eyes are just like mine, Harry thought, edging a little closer to the glass. Bright green, exactly the same shape. But then he noticed that she was crying, smiling, but crying at the same time. The tall, thin, black-haired man standing next to her put his arm around her. He wore glasses, and his hair was very untidy. It stuck up at the back, just like Harry's did. Harry was so close to the mirror that now that his nose was nearly touching that of his reflection. "Mum," he whispered. "Dad?" They just looked at him, smiling, and slowly Harry looked into the faces of the other people in the mirror and saw a pair of green eyes like his, other noses like his, even a little odd man who looked as though he had Harry's knobby knees. Harry was looking at his family for the first time in his life. So I chose this book because Harry Potter is one of my favorite series, and I loved every single one of them. I grew up with them, and I'm not sure why it would be banned, but I guess people like to challenge certain things. I chose that passage because it was kind of an important passage in the book. He sees his parents for the first time, and if you know Harry Potter's story, he kind of uses that in the other later books. But you know, it's a story that's very close to me, and yeah, that's why I chose it.